in order to grow, you have to let go. And there's a couple different things that you can let go of, whether it be people, items, things, you know what I'm saying? It really depends on your situation. But I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples, my personal examples, so you kind of see the thought process of it. First example, bro, I'm on the highway right now, so I'm gonna let go of the steering. 2 to 3 years ago, the car you guys just seen right now, or you guys will see, like random little clips of, I was super attached to it. Not just because of, actually probably back then was just because of like a materialistic point of view, right? But it's also a little deeper than that, just because me and my friends were pursuing something with like cars and filmmaking, so it was part of that also, which was why it was like such a big part of my life back then. And over the years, you know, as we grew, separated as friends, we're still like friends and all, but everyone's just busy doing what they gotta do. I have a friend that has a whole child, so his life is really all over the place right now, so he gotta just focus up on that, you know? And rightfully so. Like, I'm not, there's no like animosity, if that even is the right word to use. He gotta do what he gotta do. Same thing with me, you know? And with everyone separating, us not filming, the car was really just something I was holding on to, which I haven't really given too much thought. But right now that I'm driving and I'm thinking about it, maybe I was just holding on to it because I was scared to move on, scared to chase something else. Because all I knew for those 3 years since we were doing that was the car stuff and the filming of the car stuff. Damn, maybe I was scared to do something else. But then by the end of it, I was already detaching myself from it, the car and all. And I had to come to the conclusion where I was like, you know what, it's okay. Maybe this is part of the journey, getting rid of this, pursuing something else. And then maybe coming back to it at a later date, or maybe not even coming back to it at a later date. Because by the end of it, it really wasn't as enjoyable, it wasn't as fun, it wasn't as authentic as it was once. As it once was. There we go. But that's the beauty of it. I had those experiences. I had that. I learned some stuff. I had fun times. And we have those videos to go back to and watch. Now, don't get me wrong, when I do go back and watch them, I don't recognize myself. In the sense, like, the way I acted, the way I was is so much more different than the way I act now. But that's also the beauty of it. And that's also another part you gotta let go. Your old self. It's not just being different or being fake or disingenuous, you know? You grow as time goes on. Your interests change. Your priorities change. And that's okay. Don't be ashamed of it, really, either. You might have fucked up big time. You might have done some stupid things, but dude, they're done. They're done, man. And sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, you get caught up thinking of like all the stuff you messed up on, or all the opportunities that you maybe passed up on. And you know what? You might have, and you did maybe, and you probably did. I know I have. But bro, look at yourself right now. And don't let more opportunities pass up. And part of letting go of your old self is not being too harsh on yourself. And it took me literally till when I filmed the first video of these, I was going off on myself. I was really feeling really bad. Like, I was feeling bad. I was like, bro, I'm hella done, bro. I'm wasting so much time. I could have been done this. I could have been done that. But little did I realize that that person in that first video compared to the person I was 3 years ago. Because 3 years ago, or like around 2019, when I was 19 years old, is when I really wanted to like improve myself, right? And I really wanted to change, and I really wanted to be great, and I still do. But that's when my journey started, really. And it took me to realize and just watch myself that, man, my 19-year-old self would be proud of me now. There was so much bullshit that happened between now and then, but all that has made me who I am today. And by no means am I perfect, and by no means am I done pursuing greatness. I was about to give a whole speech, huh? But like, I really just sat there and thought about it. I was like, dude, I'm being so hard on myself, but I haven't. And there's something I try to do, like acknowledge the good things I do, right? And I think that is a nice thing to do also. But I mean, naturally, you're just gonna focus on all the negatives, naturally. But when you really sit there and think about it, bro, really, those 3 years of what I thought was bullshitting, or not even 3, more than 3, like 5 years that I thought I was just bullshitting, I was doing bad. All it was me improving myself slowly. And maybe I could have improved faster, and maybe I could have done this and done that differently. But like, it happened the way it happened, and I'm here the way I am today. And part of that is letting go of my old self, man. Don't be embarrassed. Don't look down on your old self. Your old self was you back then, man. But now you're better. Or now you're worse. It could go either way. Also, part of letting your old self go is letting go of those things or people that bring you back to your old self. And that might be the hardest part. Especially if you have a strong connection to those things or those people. For example, I feel that's part of the reason why me and my friends don't hang out as much as we used to. One, but like, there's love for those guys. I love those guys. But when we were all doing our stuff together, I can't even say, because it was fun, man. But there was a time, like right after high school with them, I would just be smoking, and I'd be smoking a lot. So then I separated myself from that. Not from them, just from that. So whenever they would go out to do that, I wouldn't follow, because I know if I did, I would probably continue it. And it's something I didn't want to continue. Same thing with at work. People I talk to there, they smoke. And they invite me, but I don't go. It's not something I want to get back into. And you don't necessarily have to cut them off, how people would be like really dramatic about it. But just, I mean, it could get to that point. But if you tell them and they respect your boundaries, then there's no issues. But if you tell them and they tease you, make fun of you, peer pressure you to go back to your old self when you don't want to, then at that point you would have to cut them off. And if you can't cut them off for whatever reason, then just know that you're hurting yourself in the long run. Another thing I guess you would have to let go of is a relationship. And that one for me is a touchy subject, just because I haven't really been in a relationship. So I don't think I'm the best person to give advice on. But just the same way, if you have boundaries and they're not respecting them, you can communicate it. And if they're, I mean, it depends on the person, because some people aren't really easy to talk to. Or some people they're so far into it that they just have their thought on things, and they're not willing to change. So that just depends on relationship to relationship.